welcome to our check-in time. For this check-in time, we want to get a chance to bring up a question that could be a very good question to ask one another as you get a chance to have time together with your spouse, just talking about how this is going, about how the relationship is going. And the question that we discussed, and I've given this question to couples, is a touchy one. But touchy in a really important way, because there's not many times you're going to get asked this question.
No, it's not going to come up.
Like, why is this question not going to come up?
Because if the answer is no, you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, the answer is no.
If the answer is no, you don't want to bring it up.
No, yeah. It's one of those questions that, is this awkward? Because it's vulnerable. It's a very vulnerable question. It's the kind of question, but it's the kind of question that for a lot of husbands and wives, they kind of would love their spouse to ask this question. I mean, like, some would be like, oh, finally. Yeah, like, they probably fasted and prayed that their spouse would ask them this question, right? But you don't want to push it. That's the other catch. So it's hard to hear, but a lot of people do want to ask this question. What's the question we want to put?
So the question is,
here we go.
Is it easy to approach me about my weaknesses or things I do wrong?
Is it easy to approach me about my weaknesses or the things I do wrong?
Right.
Why is that important to ask?
It's important because I think of it this way. You know me better than anybody else. You'll see my weaknesses. Even if I could like keep it together for other people around you, it's gonna show. So it's important for you to be able to talk to me about it in a way that helps me to grow, that helps me to be better, because you see it. And so I would love for you to be able to help me and tell me. Mm-hmm. I don't act like it all the time.
Well, who does? Yeah. Look,
it's not easy.
I know on my part, that's something that you want, but then you don't want, because you get a little frightened about will it be overwhelming? Are they going to say something? Because we beat ourselves up already anyway, and so we're kind of wondering, will I be able to take it? But equally, it's important to be able to be approachable. Like, you don't want to be married to somebody who that you can't tell me anything. You know, like, I'm going to go off on you, or I'm going to break down, like be depressed for 3 days.
It's true.
And things like that.
I know for me, let's say I'm working on something and I say to you, Antoine, my mouth, for example. I'm working on my mouth. I'm working on being gentle and making sure that what comes out of my mouth builds up and not tears down. Mm-hmm. You know I'm working on it. So when I blow it, the last thing I want is for you to go, see, there you go. There goes that mouth of yours. So that'll make me say, nah, I don't want to take any, I don't want you helping me. Mm-hmm. But if you help me in a way that is not like heaping coals on top of my head because I just blew it already and I already feel embarrassed, then I'd say, help me. Even though inside, while you're helping me, I'm going to have to pray to be humble. Yeah. I'm going to have to be like, let him help you. You asked him to help you. Take it. Because everything in me is going to want to be defensive. And defend why I'm blowing it at the moment.
Yes. And look, I want to encourage us. This is a great question. Just like Pam shared, we want to be able to have the kind of marriage where our spouse can approach us with stuff. Our spouse can approach us with those things that they need to tell us that we do wrong or that are just mistakes. Mm-hmm. And so that we get the feedback that we know that the wounds from this friend can be trusted. But let's be honest, we sometimes behave in ways that make it difficult for people to tell us the truth or our spouses to tell us what they think. We don't do it on purpose, but we behave in ways that make it like easy to be guarded and be like, I want to tell her, but now wait. So
Yeah,
it's a good question.
Because I would get defensive and you would get down.
That's the general
Like
tendency.
if I would tell you things that I see in you that you needed to, work on or whatever, you would get down. And then you hesitated to tell me because I would get prideful and defensive and attack.
Yes.
So we had to get to a place where we saw this as good. You're helping me to be better. You're not telling me to tear me down.
To tear me down. Yep. So look, I want to give you this encouragement. Here's how we do it. As you do your check-in with your spouse,
Yes.
why not just think about this? Think about this, or during the week, just ask your spouse. As we looked at that video, which you're looking at now, great excuse. You can say, well, let me ask you the question. Is it easy for you to approach me about things I do wrong? Or what was it? Things I do wrong or mistakes?
Or mistakes.
Or mistakes that I've made. Ask your spouse that question. Make it easy for them. Don't make them have to come to you. And share that information in a spirit that's gracious and loving. And see how it goes. And again, until we meet again.
Thank you for joining us for our check-in.
And enjoy your check-in.
Find more of our videos on our YouTube channel, Mind Change. Let us know